Hello. So here it is, January 15th, and I've got my garden all planned out. I've got my seed trays all prepared, and finally my seeds have come in, and I'm ready to start my brassicas. Now I'll be planting my brassicas, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. I'll also be planting eggplants and onions. And I'm going to show you how I start my seeds. So let's get on with it. Here I have one of my trays that's already prepared. Haven't even watered it yet, and you can see there's moisture on the dome from the soil. Just going to remove the dome. And I'm going to start out with my broccoli. And what I'm going to do is put 2 seeds per cell. And on my broccoli, I'm going to use these 48 cells for broccoli. And I'm just going to drop 2 seeds per cell. And I'm trying to get my seeds spaced just a little bit in case 2 of them sprout. I can still transplant both plants without the roots getting too tangled. Actually, I think I'm just going to do 36 cells with broccoli. I want to make sure I have enough cells for cauliflower. Okay, so we got our broccoli seeds dropped in. And I have 2 types of cauliflower that I'm planting. I have some self-blanching, and I'm going to use these 18 cells to plant those. And again, I'm going to drop 2 or 3 seeds per cell. Try to keep the seeds from being on top of each other. The other cauliflower I'm planting is the Snowball Improved, and I'm going to plant those in these 18 cells. Alright, so now I have my seeds. What I'm going to do is, I have this handy little 34-ounce pressure sprayer. I forgot to pressurize before I started the video, so I'm going to pump that up real quick. Alright, and I'm just going to spray these down, get them nice and moist. And this sprayer does tend to spray a little wide, so I like to shield it with my hand. And I'll probably make 2 passes. I don't want too much water in there at a time because I don't want my seeds floating around. So I'll spray it and give that a moment to soak in. And then I'll spray the second pass. Get them real good and moist. Now with these trays, you have the watering tray underneath. So if you like, you can put a little water in the bottom tray and do some bottom watering. For now, I'm just going to spray the tops. Alright, so there we go. Nice and moist. Now I'm going to take my little sifter and I'm going to take a scoop of peat moss, sift that right over the top of the seeds, making sure each cell gets covered. And to reduce your mess, you'll have to take your time at doing this. But it works well at covering the seeds. And when you need to plant seeds 1/4 of an inch, it's kind of hard to do that if you have a scoop of potting soil you're dumping on top. You can control the depth very easily by sifting over them. At least for me it's easier. And so we just continue to sift until we get all of our seeds covered. Alright, they look like they're sufficiently covered. I'm just going to take my scoop and clean off the edges a little bit. And I'm not going to get too carried away with this because I'm going to spray a little more water on top. And this is a very light, fine dust, so the water is going to spray those again just a little bit. But I am going to use my scoop to kind of level this out a little bit. Alright, and then we're going to spray these with another layer of water carefully. Now this, you want to make sure your sprayer, if you're using a pressure sprayer, is full of water, because if you hit air at this point, you're going to be breathing some of that fine peat moss dust. Just going to water these in. There we go, they should be sufficiently moist. Now I'm going to take a damp cloth and just wipe off the edges. Just give it a nice clean edge here. Now all we have to do is mark what we planted. And I use these little plastic silverware. You can get a bag of 50 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And for these seed starter trays, I just use the handle. So I cut off the useful end of the utensil. And then I take a little permanent marker. This one just happens to be red. It's the one I grabbed. And here we have our broccoli. This is Calabrese. You're more than welcome to write the species if you'd like. And then I put the date that it was planted. And I put it in the center of the cells that I planted them in. Your seeds are planted, they're watered in, they're labeled, so they are ready to go in your greenhouse or underneath a grow light or whatever you're going to do with them. Me, I'm going to put them on my window garden underneath the new grow lights and wait for them to sprout. In this tray I planted some of those white eggplants, 6 cells. Got 6 cells of some Turkish orange eggplant, which after reading the package I realized these are a tropical plant, so these may be in the house for a while. I only want to keep probably 2 plants out of those. And then I have 12 cells of the Ping Tung Long eggplant. We have 12 cells of Brussels sprouts, the Catskills. 6 cells of the Table Queen acorn squash. 12 cells of Red Express cabbage. And then 18 cells of the Golden Acre cabbage. Okay, in this tray I have, they're all onions. I've got 24 cells of onions. These are onions that Shadow of Juniper Hill gave me, and I'm not sure what kind they are. The package was just labeled onions. So these are onions. And then here I've got 24 cells of the Texas 1015 yellow onion. And then here I have 24 cells of the ruby onions, which are a sweet red onion. And here you see I have all my trays underneath the grow lights planted, and we just, as patiently as we can, wait for them to sprout. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck in your seed starts. And until we speak again, stay prepared.